Assalamualaikum guys, welcome to another character breakdown video, and this time breaking down the breaking down the God of Destruction of Dragon Ball Fighter Z and Dragon Ball series in general, Beerus. And he is a really cool character, but let's see how cool he is and like what are the problems, flaws, and his strengths and everything in between in this character breakdown video. So let's jump into it. So starting off with the specials, Beerus has 4 specials, including two unique button attacks, 2 unique button specials, and 2 attack button specials. The specials themselves do not vary while in the air. Only one of the specials is actually only performable in the ground. All of the other ones are actually like universal. You can do that both in the air and in the ground. So let's starting off with the quarter circle forward special, quarter circle forward attack button special. That is the spheres of destruction. Beerus summons an orb and kicks it. This can be cancelled. You can actually just summon the spheres of destruction and not and not kick it by holding down the button. And of course there are 3 variations. The light version is basically your beam full screen controller, for neutral, and the medium version is actually not that, it just goes straight down, but it is plus on block like 15. it is plus on block and like used for a really good mix up stuff. So yeah, this is mostly its main application while it's used, but people don't really use it unless they're in the corner to like summon an orb like this, summon an orb that helps them with that. So because it goes up or stuff like that. This is basically its main application, but in neutral the medium one doesn't really help you with anything, but you can actually summon it, so like, and then use it like this. This is also another great application, but other than that, the medium is, in my personal opinion, it feels kinda useless, but it can be used for stuff like that. So this is, it's not completely useless. And yeah, the heavy version is a mix of both. If you do the heavy, then both of the he summons 2 orbs and kicks them with both the variations. Like as you can see, one goes up, and the other goes full sprint. So like it's basically the best of both worlds together. And also you can actually summon 2 of them. So that's another. And yeah, that's basically Beerus. That's the spheres of destruction. On to the second special, the God of Destruction Wrath, and this is basically the dive kick for Beerus, but it is performable both in the ground and in the air and doesn't have any limitations. The light version is the shortest one among them, but the fastest, and also it's part of a full block string because it's only 15 frames. You can actually combo it in a full block string without gaps. The medium variant is the medium range version. It will give you sliding down on impact. It's basically your combo ender and stuff. So yeah, this is basically your combo ender and like mostly for like coming down from the air. And then there's a heavy version. It's basically a full screen dive kick from like anywhere in the screen, and like it's a really good tool to just instantly close the gap. And yeah, so but in the air, the travel distance for them like varies really little. The heavy and the EX actually go for almost the same cover the same distance when you're in the air. They do not travel that far when you're in the air, but on the ground their properties vary a lot like this. And yeah, this is a pretty good tool for mix-ups and then actually doing stuff like this. It's pretty good. And the EX version can also be used for super dash combos and to like convert off of like stray hits like this, because basically stuff like that you can do stuff like that with EX and like the combos from stray hits basically, or like or just go for avoid neutral and yeah, I wanna get in. And also just keep the sliding knockdown if you don't want a combo. Yeah, somewhere about that line, something about that basically. And yeah, so that would conclude the attack specials. Onto the unique button or the key blast specials. That is the quarter circle forward, the spheres of destruction, but 6 of them. So it's basically another setup tool for Beerus that you can use, but it's like but the startup on it is really slow. Like it's 35 frames to like actually get up the orb, so like you cannot use it while in like normal situations you have to use it behind an assist like this, and even then it's very risky, but they are all key blasts, so like they can reflect, I mean they can super dash through it, like even the spheres of destruction, the normal versions are all key blasts, they don't have beam properties, so be careful of that. And this is a really good sliding knockdown situation. It actually provides some really good sliding knockdown situations. So like you can use it for setups after sliding knockdown, because it actually covers it's actually fast enough that they cannot get immediately up and like interrupt your startup for spheres of destruction. So like you can use it after after sliding knockdown or hard knockdown to like go for setups and like throw off the enemy's vision, because at the explosion really cause some stuff. They can reflect it, but they have to be perfect with the reflect, otherwise they'll get hit, and it's a really good setup tool. And also in neutral it's pretty useful, provided that you can actually get them out and use them with Beerus's normals and stuff, so like stuff like this and then this. So and Beerus can actually hit confirm off of them, provided that he actually hits them, and he's not too much he can convert off a full spin, but like it's actually you have to immediately super dash after you push them away, but it's a really tight window, you have to do it almost immediately. Like even if you delay just a bit, then the hit stun will wear off. But it is a really good tool to actually close the gap and then confirm off into a combo. So that's a really good tool he has going for him. But as I said, it's a key blast property, so they can super dash through it even if you throw heavies or whatever. So you have to be careful when you use them. On to the last special, that is his God of Instructions Rampage, and this is his DB basically. Unfortunately, there was a time when this wasn't the DP. Darker times for Beerus mains. So this is a DP. This will go through everything, and like basically how a DP works is invincible on startup, but they are super dashable though, because they are actually normal kills. That means people can actually super dash through your DP. See, as you could see, people can actually super dash through this DP. But even then, Beerus actually retains some DP properties. Basically, they cannot super dash through it while it's active. The mid part is actually fully invincible. So after the mid part actually falls down, then he's actually vulnerable. But if you do super dash too fast, then you'll actually get caught by the DP. Basically. As you could see, that he actually remains invincible, and you could see that Beerus actually did a block animation there. So yeah, be careful how he uses DP, because as you know, DPs are like are dangerous, and especially especially what you saw Shanks did to Gropis. So if you use DP recklessly, you just walk through the freaking DP because they are key blasts. And yeah, so that would conclude his special. Onto his buttons and block strings. Beerus, I'd say kind of. Beerus is actually a mix-up heavy character more than he's a neutral character. He has good buttons, but his jab, like I'd say his jab is one of the more annoying jabs, because as you can see, it's like it's a bit short, you know. But the second hit actually is pretty good. Like it has a really good range, and like it's very big. I mean, actually. It will catch some people jumping, because it's got some weird spherical style hitbox. And then the last hit of the auto combo is actually a cross up, so that's pretty good. If they're not prepared, then you can catch people of it, but it is very slow that people can actually interrupt it mid-media. If they full mash through it, then they can actually beat this, so be careful not to use it recklessly. Then there is medium buttons. They are the better buttons for Beerus's in Beerus's kit. Like all of them reach really far, and especially his buff to him, it now reaches 90% of the screen. Actually 95. Scratch that. 95% of the screen. So like it's pretty good. Like it's another part. It's actually one part of his neutral toolkit, but it is unsafe because it's -10, and there is no another replacement for this, and it's a really good button. Like you can easily catch people off guard. Like who's gonna see a person sliding through your DMs? And then there is special. Then there is heavy. The heavy actually pushes people really far and is safe on block. So that's a really good thing. And there is infamous 2H. Like this 2H is really hard to hit because of the small hitbox. And now it has a like backward push, and like it's really good now. Before it had like it kept you in place and it was like really messy to use. But you can cancel into any of the specials after all of the heavies or any of the buttons. So that's a good thing. For Blockstrings, only the light version of either only the light version and the light version of either of the specials actually work. That is something like that. So as you can see, because the spheres of destruction starts with a key blast, so it can be the kick part can be deflected. But you can then do stuff like that, and that's a really good thing that Beerus has going for him. Like you do not know when it's a fake or when he's gonna do the whole thing, so he can mess you up with that. And this is also a part of the full boxing. You cannot reflect nor do any stuff, and it actually keeps you far away. If you don't have assists, you can then back off. You can back off like this, and they cannot chase you because you're safe, and you can option select into multiple ways. Like for example, doing it again. Why don't you just do it twice? So nice that you have to do it twice. And yeah, even the heavy version actually doesn't combo. But the spheres of destruction is part of a 2-block thing. As you can see, there it doesn't have any gap. But even though the game shows that you cannot reflect it if you set it to auto reflect by the bot, but you can actually reflect the kick part. It's just because it's too fast, so the game doesn't register that there is any gap. But as we know that key blast, anything after a key blast can be always reflected. So even though the game shows that you cannot reflect it, but it is reflected. But Beerus is like heavily plus after this. As you can see, Beerus is like actually heavily plus after this. Actually not heavily. Beerus is in +2 after this, and he can actually fake that. So he's only on -1 when he's on faking. But if you actually put some distance between yourself, like this, for example, so like this is actually a set piece, and they have to super dash through it. But they cannot super dash this or this. It will catch the super dash while it's in animation, and the only super dash the only move that they can super dash actually is this one, because it's a high up, and like the kick will whiff because Beerus is high in the air. But this one is actually like puts your really on plus and then gives you overhead to low option. Like this is really good. This is a really good thing. You can switch it up. Something like that, and do stuff like this. You can switch it up, but they know that they can super dash through it, and also like reflect into 2H is possible. So be careful. And to be more safe and like have like no reflect options available to them, you can go for this stuff like that. Like if this is part of a full block string, and like this is very easy to do. Almost every character in the roster should be able to provide you with something like along that line. Something along that line, and yeah. So all of his sphere projectiles are like really safe on block. Like every of his buttons are also very safe. Like they're almost Broly level safe, but not as broken as Broly level, unfortunately. So everyone very safe and like have very less negative frames. You can actually even backdash off of some of them because like his jab is -3, his low to well is also -3, his second one is on -5 only, medium -5. So they're all safe. The only unsafe button is the 2M and his 2H. So that's pretty good. And like for air normals, he has like really good buttons. Like they can be easily used to catch super dashes. They're really good. They have like real good hitboxes, and like you can catch people if the super dash to recklessly at you and doesn't respect you in the air. Like they're really good, and like it's very easy to time as well. It's not that hard. It's I mean it's not as easy as Piccolo, but it's not that hard. I mean from a significant enough range, you can do that pretty consistently. And like this is one of the and Beerus players do like to use that. This is one of the main tactics while in the air that they try to snipe out any kind of super attacks because Beerus doesn't have that many good air options. But yeah, people usually do that, and everything is the same except for this down heavy. Like this travels horizontally. The air twitch travels horizontally and has a good range like Master Roshi. He's the original one, so not like Master Roshi, it's his original move, then Master Roshi copied it. He can use it to like do stuff like for example stuff like this. This is one of his set plays, so this is also pretty good. You can use it like that, for example call orbs, then do that, stuff like this, something like that. People use that all the time to like control neutral or to get out of the corner, and this is a really good tool you can use. So some of his so now I'll be demonstrating some of the blockchain ideas that I know with him, and these are going to be some of the ideas that I'll show you for true blockchain. Then you can do that because it's only -2, so you can do this. You can also get if you also get your blast frames like this, also keep it safe by calling an assist. This is one of the things that you can do, or do this as well because this is also +1. Oh, 0 on block when you're crouched. But you can always cancel it out and then do stuff like that. Do again. All of the spheres are, as you know, -2, so this is pretty good for you. But you can also do stuff like that. So Beerus has like pretty good set plays. So use those, like use the key blast, then I mean not like that. Use the key blast and stuff like this. You can also fake and go over them and then call assist like that. For example, do stuff like that. This is pretty good too. If they stand up, they will get caught by it, but you can still do that by again stuff like that reversible. So these are to be summarized for true blockstring and like blockstring enders. So this one and this one is this one is true. This one is also true on as a full blockstring. So these are your true blockstrings, but also try to utilize the blast frames that he gets from his medium version of the spheres of destruction. And so yeah, this will be, I'd say, more or less your blockstring and blockstring ideas. So with his blockstrings and buttons down, now I'll be moving on to his specials. His neutral. His neutral is actually one of the hardest part about this character for me. I feel like it's decent, but it's not good. It's good. It's not good enough, I feel like. But it can you can work with it though. So for specials like key blast, he has a singular key blast. It's a very fast traveling key blast with the standard 13 frames and having like -2 and like as you can see, like it's -2 on block when you're up close, and it's really fast, so it's pretty good. But it's a singular key blast, so like you have to like either spam it like this, but it's like you don't have that same what you call that fluidity of like multiple key blasts. But he also has the down key blast. Like he can summon 3 that will stay, but they float like that. Okay, I didn't know the trajectory was like that. But yeah, so he has 3. You can keep spamming them, but at the same time there can only be 3 of them at the same time. So he just summons them. Then you have to just control them like with another button. Like for example, do that and that. You like that again. I mean, so for example, then again. So it's more of a setup thing than much more of a neutral thing. Like it's basically a alternate version of the spheres of destruction. So you just call them out and then and since they are faster, so like it's better to use them. It's easier to use them, and you'll not be punished for it. Even if they try to super attack, then you can easily anti-air them. Like it has really less recovery frames, so like it's a safe tool that you can summon to like assist in your neutral. The main special that you'll be most probably using to like keep them in blockstring and in neutral is the light sphere of destruction. Like this reaches full spin and like keeps them in blockstring. So like you'll do something like this and then go up to them, or you know, classic VR special to this, get your turn back to them. So like this would be, I'd say, how you like use your stuff, or do stuff like that, and then go. Okay, not like this. So another method of controlling neutral would be something along this line. Wait. Something along this line is summon the sphere with your light input and then wait, then do that and get into them. So like since you're hitting something, you're still like able to do so, you're still mobile, and so because you have less recovery, because you're hitting physically something, and like this allows you to something along, it will be along something along the line of that, I guess. Call them, then call this, something like this. I'm not really that good with it, like I'm not that much of a Beerus player, so like I cannot properly show you this, but that's usually the technique they go for. Like, so yeah, mostly as far as I use it, most of my use was like this, and then keeping in blocks up and calling an assist, like for example Dodon assist, and then go run after them, or sometimes do that, I guess, but I'm not that proficient at this, so like I cannot properly show you the method to use that. And yeah, this is mostly how you control the neutral. Also, people just use this. This is now you have another setup orb. So like this is also a very good use. As you can see, this is a setup orb. This will assist you in that, and then you can run up and then take up your turn. And if they turn a super dash, you can just 2H them, or actually just dive to them. And then he has AR key blasts, multiple AR key blasts. They are really fast and they are really good. They have a really reach to the super jump will give you an shallow enough angle to make the key blast reach full swing, but they are still really steep. I mean, a jump can, as you can see, and also like it has a sort of landing recovery, so be careful of that. And you can pair it up with his dive. That's a really good combination. But I'd say the best answer to Super Dash Beerus has is just to like wait for them. He doesn't have an immediate answer. None of his specials actually give an immediate answer. So none of his specials like will give you any good answer to like Super Dash. He doesn't have a really good answer to anything. So most of his specials can be Super Dash true, but you can do stuff like that, for example. As you can see, and it's too slow. Like anything you can potentially do is just too slow. You have to do things preemptively with Beerus, but you cannot like control neutral like normally as well. You have to do things preemptively. Like I don't think like you can react with the light version, but the heavy variant has less startup. So heavy variant I think can be used. The heavy variant I think is probably, yeah, the heavy variant is probably your anti-air. You can wait. Sorry. Yeah, it has a huge hit and a better startup, than the rest of the. Than the rest of the what you call the specials. So yeah, this would be, I'd say, how you control neutral, and I mean not how you control neutral. That's not the only way. You can definitely call assist, set them up, wait for them to age, get your turn back, something along that line. The other thing you can do is actually wait for them. So something along that line you can do, jab the super dash out like midair. That's I think the best answer that he has to super dash from full screen. The other things are like too messy, in my opinion. Yeah, you can. That's mostly his neutral. You cannot do anything else, but he also has a 90% rating to him, so you can always use that. That's also a part of his game plan, like 2-aiming from down. But of course, Super Dash will go over it because Super Dash low crosses. as you see. Super dash can solo cards, but yeah, so a lot of things that Beerus can do is actually beaten by super dash. But as I also said that, as you can see, that actually beats super dash. So like stuff like that you can do, but a lot of things that he does actually beat super dash. So his neutral is, for me, is kind of his weakest part. But other than that, he's a really good mixer. He has really good mix-ups and like a lot of things to going for him. So with that out of the way, so with the neutral ideas that I hopefully gave you, now I'll move on to his assists. So his first assist is his Spheres of Destruction. Is the heavy variant actually. Before he actually only had one sphere destruction, the light one. Now they buffed it and gave him two, and they almost disappear immediately. And since they are like, and it is a block stun assist because it has gives you 50 frames on block stun. But since Beerus starts with these Spheres of Destruction, they are key blast, so the henceforth you can reflect. They can reflect any other thing that you do afterwards. But after Beerus kicks, they cannot reflect after that. So, but if they reflect immediately after the assist has been called, then they can reflect everything that comes after it, because Beerus says those are key blast properties. But other than that, this is a really good, I'd say, annoying assist, because even if you do something along this line, and if you're behind them and they start super jumping, then they will actually bounce off the wall and then actually hit them. So like it can be used to catch people off guard, and it's a good assist. But again, since their key blast properties exist, like you can super dash, reflect, or anything do after that. So be careful on how you use it. But it's a really good assist nonetheless. Nonetheless, it's a really good assist for both combo and has a really good hit stun. So as you could see, like this, that is a really good hit stun. If you can like ram up and like do rage, then you know that this has like really good hit stun. Onto his BS. His BS is the dive of what you call it, the God of Destruction Rampage. I mean God of Destruction Wrath or something along that line. So yeah, it is his dive. It is his dive, and BS actually starts from mid screen and like covers almost the entirety of mid screen, because the entire time that thing is active, like it will catch people on the air as well. And it has like a decent startup 35 frames and also some decent block stun of 34. Like it's more than a beam assist, so it's really good. And it can also allow you to, and it will also help you with jumping opponents, because it does cover some of the and it will help you with jumping opponents, because it does cover some of the airspace. For example, something along that line. So it's a really good assist in my opinion. Like it covers you really well, and like it has no key blast gimmicks or anything. So like it's a straightforward assist with decent block stun, and also to use assist for combo extension and stuff. So like it's a really good assist in my opinion. I feel the most comfortable using this assist. Like it helps me control neutral a little bit well, because of the ground coverage and sort of air coverage it gives. Like the air coverage is little, but even then the air coverage that helps out sometimes, and like people really get caught off guard because the assist starts mid screen. So it's a good assist in my opinion, and probably my most favorable assist in his kit. But again, preference is a preference. Onto his C assist. His C assist is his DP, and it does not actually have any kind of invincibility. It's a normal key blast. It's again another one of those normal key blast style. What do you call that? Key blast style assist. That means anything you can do after that, they can reflect. But it is. I don't think it tracks. It doesn't track, but like because the key blast actually go in a lot of direction, like they can actually get still hit and like Beerus still combo. For example, see, as you could see, like even in super jump, like Beerus could still catch them, and if one of the key blast hits, then Beerus will then auto confront for you, and then the C assist gimmick. So like you know all the assist works and stuff, and anything after that can be reflected because they are normal key blast. So yeah, that will conclude his assist. And with that, I'll also conclude the
Well then.
character breakdown of Beerus. This was one of the shorter ones. I hope I didn't miss anything, like also didn't leave out any crucial information. If I did, please do let me know it down in the comments below, and leave your criticism there. If I'm thinking, I'll pin it up, or like make another separate comment if I did miss too many things. And yeah, with that, now I'll move on to the comment section. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if it did, please leave a like, subscribe, and thank you so much for them, and I'll see you in the next one. Enjoy the comment section. Allah Hafiz.
I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet.
Impressive. Take those. Try this.